So if you think history is just a boring timeline of wars and kings, you are in for a surprise. We're about to dive into some moments from the past that are so strange, so out there, you'll swear they have to be made up.
You know, the past is absolutely packed with these unbelievable moments. And the best part? Every single story we're about to get into is 100% true. These are the tales that really prove that truth is way, way stranger than fiction. Okay, first up, let's meet some of the most unconventional heroes you could possibly imagine. We're talking about folks, and in some cases animals, who stepped up in ways nobody could have seen coming.
Now, you did not read that wrong. Our first hero isn't some decorated general or a cunning spy, but a Syrian brown bear named Wojtek. And somehow, he became an absolute legend among Polish soldiers during World War II. His story is just, well, you gotta hear this.
I mean, just look at this bear's resume. Wojtek was adopted as a cub by the Polish Second Corps, and he truly became one of the guys. They raised him on condensed milk, he drank beer with them, he even wrestled with the soldiers. And get this, he learned to salute. But he wasn't just the mascot, no way. During the brutal Battle of Monte Cassino, Wojtek actually carried these huge, heavy crates of ammunition and never dropped a single one. For that bravery, he was officially enlisted and promoted to the rank of corporal, a real, actual soldier.
But Wojtek wasn't the only animal hero of the war, not by a long shot. If we head over to the English Channel, another four-legged soldier was making headlines for her own, let's call them unique talents.
Meet Juliana the Great Dane. Her brand of heroism was, shall we say, a little unconventional. You see, where a typical war hero might painstakingly defuse a bomb, Juliana's method was a bit more direct. She put out a German incendiary bomb by, well, urinating on it. And it worked. She was awarded the prestigious Blue Cross Medal for bravery. And then she won it a second time for waking her family up during a house fire. It just goes to show you, heroes really do come in all shapes, sizes, and species.
Okay, next up, we are looking at those lightning-in-a-bottle moments of pure, dumb luck. These are the world-changing inventions that weren't born in a lab after years of research, but instead came from complete, clumsy accidents.
And you really can't get more accidental than this. So in 1943, an engineer named Richard James is working on a spring to stabilize equipment on ships. He knocks one off his desk, and instead of just crashing to the ground, it does this amazing thing where it gracefully walks its way down. He saw a mistake. His wife Betty saw a toy. She's the one who named it the Slinky, and by 1945, it was an absolute sensation. A simple, clumsy moment created one of the most iconic toys ever.
Sticking with this theme of accidental genius, let's switch from toys to food. What if I told you that for decades, one of the world's most popular snacks was unbelievably boring?
Before 1954, if you bought a bag of potato crisps, or chips depending on where you are, you had exactly one flavor choice: plain. That's it. Salt usually came in a separate little bag that you had to add yourself. The whole idea of a pre-flavored crisp, it just didn't exist. Then, this guy Joe Spud Murphy, who owned the Irish company Tato, comes along. He figures out a way to add seasoning directly to the crisps during production, and his first big hit, cheese and onion. This one simple idea completely changed the snack industry forever. It kicked off that explosion of flavors you see covering the shelves today, and it's all thanks to an Irishman who thought plain potatoes could be a whole lot better. All right, so we've had accidental genius. Now let's talk about pure, uncut boldness. This next section is all about the rebels, the risk-takers, and some of the most ridiculous confrontations in all of history. Long before he was the ruler of Rome, a young Julius Caesar had this encounter that just perfectly showed the kind of audacity that would define his entire life. He was kidnapped by pirates. Now, for most people, that would be terrifying, but Caesar, well, Caesar was not most people. So Caesar basically takes charge of his own kidnapping. When the pirates told him his ransom was 20 talents of silver, he literally laughed in their faces and told them he was worth at least 50. While he was their captive, he acted like their boss, recited his poetry to them, and kept joking that as soon as he was free, he'd come back and crucify them all. They thought it was hilarious. Well, after his ransom was paid, Caesar did exactly what he said he would. He raised a fleet, hunted the pirates down, captured them, and had them all crucified. Talk about a masterclass in negotiation and revenge.
From personal audacity, let's move to national absurdity. Conflicts between countries are usually these long, bloody, drawn-out things. But what if I told you a war involved almost no fighting, lasted less than a day, and was named after a piece of kitchenware?
So in 1784, the Holy Roman Empire decides to challenge Dutch control over a river. A single Dutch ship is sent to meet the imperial fleet. Tensions are running high. And then, a single shot is fired. Just one.
That's right. The one and only cannonball fired in the entire war didn't hit a soldier, it didn't damage a ship. It flew across the water and smashed into a soup kettle on the deck of an Austrian vessel. The Austrians were apparently so stunned and maybe a little humiliated by this that they immediately surrendered. And just like that, the kettle war was over before it ever really started.
Now let's jump to a totally different kind of conflict, a battle for personal rights. In early 20th century New York City, a law called the Sullivan Ordinance was passed. It made it illegal for women, and only women, to smoke in public. And one woman decided, nope, not happening.
Her name was Katie Mulcahey. She walked outside, deliberately lit a cigarette, and was immediately arrested. But when she was brought before the judge, she didn't apologize. Instead, she argued that she had every right to smoke, just as much as any man. She was fined $5, but her bold stand made headlines, and it made the law look completely ridiculous. The public outcry and mockery were so intense that the mayor vetoed the whole thing just 2 weeks later.
And now, for our final section, we're going straight into the deep end of weird. If you thought the last stories were strange, you haven't seen anything yet. These are the historical accounts that just seem to defy all logic.
This seems like a trick question, right? The answer should be obvious. Of course not. Justice is for the living. But in the long and very strange history of the papacy, the answer wasn't always quite so simple.
This is the true story of the Cadaver Synod. Back in 897, Pope Stephen VI had such a serious grudge against his predecessor, Pope Formosus, that he had Formosus's 9-month-old corpse dug up, dressed in papal robes, and propped up on a throne to stand trial for his crimes. They even appointed a deacon to speak on behalf of the corpse. Unsurprisingly, the dead pope was found guilty.
And finally, we have one of the most bizarre deaths ever put to paper. Hans Steininger was a mayor in Austria, and he was famous for one thing, his incredible 4.5-foot-long beard. He normally kept it rolled up neatly in a little pouch, but one day in 1567, a fire broke out. In the panic, Hans forgot to tuck his beard away. While he was rushing to help, he stepped on it, tripped, and broke his neck. He was literally killed by his own magnificent beard. So from corporal bears and bomb-sniffing dogs to accidental toys and trials for the dead, history is so much weirder than we're ever taught in school. And it kind of leaves you with one last thought. If these are just a few of the bizarre stories we've managed to find, what other unbelievable truths are still out there just waiting to be discovered?